Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. Another amazing live trade on our live trading sessions in the mentorship. This is the trade, what happened? Absolutely exploded. And in this next video, you guys are gonna see how all of this was all broken down in our live trading lesson. Everything was explained as things has been happening before, and of course, the full logic detailed in the mentorship. So you guys are gonna see the exact purpose of what the live trading session is, how we do it, and how the mentorship live trading is looking like. Here we also got a pretty decent analysis added to the journal. We saved it here before things happened. Also, I did save a couple of IDs in terms of updating my journal as the trade was progressing. But just take a look at the next video and enjoy how this trade was absolutely explained on our live trading session. And before we get into the meeting, guys, make sure to check out Quant Funded. This is the best place to go to if you're looking to get funded. My students have gotten multiple payouts, and also I had multiple payouts without facing any single issues. And also, you can use my discount code to get a 5% discount on Quant Funded. To use the discount code, you just have to go to the new challenge, and here at the new challenge, when you place your order, make sure to use my discount code LT5 to get that 5% off your Quant Funded challenge. So let's get now into the meeting. Okay, let me go and share the screen. And let's get into the discussion before we actually miss the opportunity. So most recent, most relevant opportunity, that's the only thing that we are looking at every single time. So this round gold, this is going to be the most recent, most relevant opportunity. This is what I'm waiting for currently. Just let me explain the ID here. So this here is the highest point the market ever created. We are, of course, very near at the proximity of this highest point. Anytime the market is creating an all-time high and the price is also getting closer and closer to the all-time high, eventually it will be sweeping it. And if the all-time high price is not holding any sort of support resistance ID, and there's just no reason for the market to be creating any sort of order block, any sort of psychological key level, fib, or whatever you want to call it, if it's not there at the all-time high, if the all-time high is only looking at it as a liquidity, like here we have the Asia high, that's also not liquidity, and in a general sense, and just by looking at the fundamentals, we had the Canadian government retaliate with taxes towards the US. So the trade war and everything that is causing uncertainty is kind of going on globally. So it just means higher prices on gold. And also regarding the global war with Russia and Ukraine, apparently there was no positive news currently, because with the recent news, Putin had a statement that he's not going to be accepting any kind of ceasefire unless it is only benefiting him and absolutely benefiting him. So that being said, I do imagine higher prices on gold at the moment. So kind of the fundamentals are also playing a role into having a buying ID at this time. So this is the buying ID at this moment. If maybe in the next 2 hours things are changing and it's going to be a selling ID, who knows, it might be happening. But at this moment, we always got to look at the most recent and most relevant entry, which is, of course, this trade here. Let's go to a different time frame and let me just try to show you what else is going to be important. Of course, preferably if the market will be coming to the entry roughly within that kills on time, it really does make everything that much better. But even if it's not within the kills on time, it's only a New York kills on time. the entry is indeed going to be just okay. It's not important to confirm this trade with keys on exactly. That's not the point here. As far as we got the correct technicals and also the most recent, most relevant entry, keys on time, it does not become absolutely important. It only becomes an additional confirmation to you. So as far as the market will be giving that ID of the keys on time, yeah, the trade does become better, but I will still look for an execution here, of course. Let's also touch base on some other things here, like is this ID even good to buy at this point, or should we actually wait for another pullback, maybe at a lower price? And I can tell you that yes, indeed, if we check the market here or so on the lower time frame, on the 50-minute, we obviously got plenty of reason for the market to later potentially move lower with this previously opposite closing candle just below it. We also have a quite massive impulsive move created from yesterday, which does have a potential to be filled in because we understand that any sort of impulsive move in the market, eventually it will be getting filled in. But it's not something I would be focusing on at this moment because it just goes against the plan. Because the plan is every single time. Doesn't matter what's the analysis somewhere else, you always gotta focus on the most recent one. So for that reason, again, I'm all the way ignorant to any sort of other entry until this would be failing. Of course, and if anybody has any different ideas, I do not really care. This is my setup and I'm gonna stick with it. Another thing here, which is actually quite nice to see, is actually the bottom of the Asia was also swept here. It kind of clears the liquidity for the recent trade. After that, we broke above the Asia, which does show the bullishness here because this was also the impulsive candle on the bottom that actually kind of initiated that bullish movement to the upside. So because this area was sweeping the low of the Asia, which is the liquidity, and then this bigger impulsive move was initiating the actual bullish movement towards the upside, it means that this bullish candle, this bigger impulsive move, is also the main initiation of the actual bull trend for the day. And we also see that here, this is the previously opposite closing candle. So that is perfectly in line with the fib retracement, of course. And it just becomes a good idea. So that's my comment here. No further explanation needed here. Actually, like, that's it. No further overcomplication needed at all. Okay, so yeah, that's my ID, and let me just save it. And let me also just add it to the journal. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna stay for the moment. I also want to touch base actually on Euro USD for today, apart from the current ID on gold. So let's go to Euro USD. Here, things are kind of two-sided, of course. So in case any of you have been having a bit two-sided analysis on the x-axis USD price, just do not be surprised. It's been absolutely a piece of shit the last couple of days, I can tell you that. I was I was bullish on it on the higher time frame up until actually reaching the higher time frame fib retracement, which I'm going to show in a moment. And right now, the price on Euro USD and also on XXX USD, it is sort of it is kind of a area that the market is going to be having a main deciding area for the market price. So let me just try to explain this. So this is the kind of area that is the main deciding factor if we are going to be reversing in the next couple of days, or are we going to be pushing higher in the next couple of weeks. So let me just try to show you what's happening here. Also going to be executing the other one because you want to give the chance for the market to be giving that two-sidedness. So this is really the best approach here to properly go into Euro USD analysis. Here on gold, going back to gold for a moment, like here I can tell you that here it's not important to have a two-sided analysis for the moment. It's much better to rather hold a one-sided analysis to rather say, okay, I'm only going to be buying. I'm not even trying to look for any sort of selling trade at this moment. I'm only interested in something else if this is not happening. So if by any chance this is not working, of course I'm going to be re-evaluating my analysis. But all the way until the market is still potentially going to be working according to this current ID, I have no reason to make any sort of outlook, and I have no reason to have any kind of two-sided approach on my entry all the way up until this is not a stop loss. Of course, if it's a stop loss, I'm gonna reevaluate it. But up until to that moment, I'm gonna be sticking to my bias with my ego of saying that only this is the only thing that's going to be happening. So again, that's gonna be quite important. Going back to Euro USD, this point, the market came back like that, kind of swept the Asia the same way. So kind of today is very similar. See, it's just the same pattern repeating over and over again, which is quite nice to see. As the first point of ID, one thing we gotta make sure this is the time when that kills on time is gonna be important. And these are the certain scenarios when you would rather prefer, of course, looking at something with a kills on time. So that's of course the most recent, most relevant entry. I mean, it depends because as long as this would be broken below, so let me try to explain this. So if this would be broken below with a very large impulsive move, then of course this would be the most recent entry, that candle. Market will be coming back here and then moving lower. However, until things are progressing right now according to the current outlook, really the best and most logical, most recent entry would be from this point, matching with the psychological key level, matching with a fib, sweeping the Asia high as we are moving back in, also being part of a AMD cycle, and confirming it with a kills on time, and plenty of reasons for the market to be reaching the unswept Asia, of course. So That's quite logical, of course. So that's something I would focus on. It goes against the fundamentals, of course, like we of course seen. So yeah, good live trade also last week, and this week plan the trade, trade the plan. Either stop loss, either take profit. That's really the idea. And of course, like just stick with the plan and follow through with the plan.